Damian Lillard certainly didn't look like a rookie tonight. You had to find an answer for him. You did late, but what do you think about his game?
Yeah, man, that boy is serious, man. He's serious, and he's not afraid of anything. You know, he has a whole package. You know, he's got the three ball, the mid-range, get all to the rim, obviously. And we just had to go get him. We just had to say the hell with him.
Ever since a young boy, I've been getting buckets. Ever since a young boy, I've been getting buckets. Pull it back, Kobe. Pull it back, Kobe. Swish. I don't even gotta look, I take the shot in here. Swish. I don't even touch the rim when I pull up, it's just swish. Backboard wet, only thing I know is swish. Pull it back, Kobe. Pull it back, Kobe.
Hold up.
How are you doing, Lakers fans? Welcome to Purple and Gold Stream. Before we go into the NBA news and the newly updated power rankings, we'll discuss just heard this morning that great soccer legend Diego Maradona passed away at the age of 60 due to a cardiac arrest. We'd like to send a condolence to all the Maradona family and all the soccer players in general. Cristiano Ronaldo posted tweeted earlier about how Maradona meant to him as a close friends, and it was very emotional. Maradona was known as the player that was more successful in soccer, but also had a lot of trouble outside of soccer. We send prayers to the great legend. Rest in peace. All right, we're on to the NBA news. We got a couple of the trades that went through last night. So finally, this Atlanta Hawks are getting what they wanted. Finally, the Sacramento decided to decline matching the Hawks' 4-year offer sheet worth $72 million for restricted free agent Bogdanovic. Sources told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Bogdanovic is a guy that Giannis Antetokounmpo wanted so badly. There is a rumor that the Milwaukee is very concerned about the Giannis might not sign an extension with the team, the max contract, since they lost the chance to trade Bogdanovic. Now, the Atlanta Hawks gets the right, and the Hawks are looking more revamped than ever before. It'll be interesting to see how the Atlanta Hawks really perform in the regular season. I think they're definitely a playoff team this year. Look at how many players they brought in and how many players, not A-plus type of players, but they're usually some all-star, like Garrinelli is definitely all-star caliber. He's never made it to all-star game. And they brought in Rondo as backup for Trae Young. Trae Young is rising sensational. He's a superstar in the making, in my opinion. I think everyone feels the same way. And Detroit Pistons agree with the free agent Wayne Ellington to 1-year deal worth $2.6 million. Ellington is going to a 13-year NBA veteran. He's known for a three-point shot. So it's a good addition for the Pistons, as they needed a shooter. It's more shooters. It's never enough to have a good shooter in the team. And the Denver Nuggets have converted the Bol Bol's two-way contract into a standard one. If the center appears 7 games for Nuggets during the bubble, average around 5.7 and 2.7 rebound. It was the 2019 second-round pick. It's very very good. Very good pickup by Denver Nuggets, giving the Bobo a chance to stay as a player in the NBA instead of sending him back to the G League. I think he definitely will be a great addition for the team in the long term. And you've seen a bit of shine during the bubble playoff, where he was able to stretch the floor, knocking down some open shot. You still need to put up a lot of muscle, just not a strong guy inside. But he's a reliable shooter. And if you have a big man who you can rely on making shots, that's always a plus. And as I mentioned earlier video, the New Orleans Pelicans All-Star forward Ingram signed 5-year deal, 158 million maximum contract extensions. And England was selected number 2 overall, 2016 draft by the Lakers, and he was traded to New Orleans in 2019 as part of Anthony Davis deal. Last season, Ingram averaged a career best close to 24, 6 rebounds, 4.2 assists, shot over 39% from 3. So congratulations, Brandon Ingram, you deserve that, cashing that bag. He worked really hard. And I was very sad to see him go when he was traded away. But we got the more bigger player in Anthony Davis, and we won the chip. So it's all worth it. It's a win-win situation for both teams. So CBS Sports, they apparently released the newly updated power rankings before season starts on December the 1st. So I'm going to go over from the bottom to top, just briefly, just see the records that will indicate in what type of players they acquired during this trade and then free agent market. So the bottom 30 is the Thunder, Oklahoma City Thunder. Is no surprise there. They lost Chris Paul, Steven Adams, then Danilo Gallinari signed with Atlanta Hawks. The only guy that's left is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And of course, fans are excited about their draft picks they acquired from the trade. Well, they had a lot of multiple picks, first round picks next year and the year after. So from 5 years, next 5 years, they're gonna have a lot of picks, and they can use it to with a trade asset. We could combine with trade and get more players, star caliber players to their team. So the future is bright. I think Sam Presti did an excellent job during this offseason. But of course, I'm not surprised the experts picked the Thunder to go on the last. Next is Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs are not going to be that good this season. They still have Kevin Love and Andrew Drummond. And I think the future is bright for the guard position. This is Colin Sexton. He broke out the last season. And of course, Darius Garland is definitely going to be better this year. They pick up a rookie, Isaac Okolo. That's definitely going to help the Cleveland's miserable defense. But it's going to be a long season for them. I'm predicting them not making a playoff this season. Knicks fans, yeah, it's a Stephen A's favorite Knicks. I always feel frustrated when talk about it. As long as their owners are still in charge, the James Dolan, there's nothing really goes right for this team. But they picked up a really good rookie and Obi Toppin from Dayton University. And of course, the future might look bright. But other than that, there's really nothing much going on. Still got a huge contract with Junius Randle and RJ Barrett. See how he's going to blossom in the second year. That's something that I'm excited to watch. He's a local, he's from Canada. Every time the Canadian players perform well, I'm happy about it. So, when Jamal Murray, of course, yeah, I don't know, something that I don't really feel excited to watch the Jamal Murray play, but because what he did to Lonzo Ball back with the Lakers, they were showing out too much, and I just thought that wasn't very humble. But I'm glad that all these Canadian players are performing well in NBA. Next is Detroit Pistons. They had a somehow bizarre free agent. They acquired Jeremy Grant from Denver. Then they let Christian Wood walk away and sign with the Pistons, in the Rockets. Then they pick up nice addition from the bench, from the draft to Killian Hayes. He will end up being one of the best players in the draft, in my opinion. But he needs time to develop. They can definitely be a contender for playoff if Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose are healthy. We'll have to see how it looks on the court and as the season progresses. So I'm the one who's surprised to see Timberwolves go on the bottom 5 teams. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. That they pick up the number 1 overall pick, Anthony Edwards, and they still have great 1-2 punch in Carl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. But they have definitely a little bit concerned about defense. But they haven't really acquired a great defensive player. Well, I think Joshua Okogie is one guy who can play that role. He got that wingspan, and he's a wing type of defender who can contain the other teams, two-way players with like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Wolves definitely have a young talent. I will not. My prediction for Timberwolves going this year, probably going 10th in the Western Conference standing. Barely not making the playoff, but they'll definitely get over 35 win. That's my prediction. Washington, they have a lot of trouble going into the season since John Wall requested trade. He was not very happy. They found out the team decided to go rebuild with the Bradley Bill for long term. He already has a lot of teams that are interested. There are about 10 teams that are interested in trading him. Only good news, they locked in Dave Bertans for long term and drafted Danny Avdija from Israel. And this Danny Avdija, he is very promising young man. And then we will have to be excited about the last year's rookie Rui Hachimura, how he's going to perform this season with the team. Is he is going to go into a very successful year. I believe his ceiling is definitely an all-star type of player. So Washington, I'll say about 30 wins this year. They still have a lot of improvements to go, but their young guys looking promising. Chicago Bulls. Bulls did a surprising move by taking Patrick Williams at number 4 in the NBA draft. And there's still a lot of question of whether they did right pick. Patrick Williams, I thought was a really risky. It's very surprising that they picked Patrick Williams above all these other players. But they hire new coach Billy Donovan, and Zach Levine's still with the team, so they still got a one all-star player in Zach Levine. And there's not much to really talk about the Bulls this year. They're not going to make a playoff. I think they're going to compete for maybe 10th or 9th, 11th spot. Charlotte drafted LaMelo Ball, and then they signed the Golden Hayward a massive contract, which everyone's criticizing about it. Overpaid, criticizing Michael Jordan for signing, paying Golden Hayward $120 million for 5 years. It's definitely an odd move. I think it might affect their salary cap in the coming year. But I understand that not many superstars or star players want to come play for the small markets. So what happened? Indiana Pacers offered a deal of 5 years worth of $100 million. 4 years worth $100 million, I believe. It was $25 million per year. It's a little bit more than what the Charlotte offered. But then Michael Jordan contacted Hayward. I think he personally contacted him, and then he asked him to join the team. If you were a player and you get contacted by Michael Jordan in person, would you turn down the deal? It's honor that the legend send a contact, and then you're gonna be very excited. You feel like, MJ want me. MJ want me to play. Just give you a lot of expectation. Right? And Hayward declined the offer of joining the Pacers. His hometown. Played for Butler University. So I wasn't very surprised that he went to Charlotte. And when I heard the news about MJ contacting him and giving him that, recruiting him in person, because MJ is not a guy who does that all the time. And he really must have wanted it. I don't know why they didn't really give Campbell Walker that kind of chance, because Walker is definitely the guy who worth of getting that treatment. That's one thing that I feel like MJ is not doing his job as a owner, not being very successful owner, just not being able to make the team contender for a long time. The Charlotte is always not known as a strong team, but at least they had a consistent all-star in Kemba Walker. You could have built a team around him and just brought in other maybe A-type players, and then they made them a playoff team. Right? Said they traded away. All right, Sacramento Kings. They signed a big contract with De'Aaron Fox, promising he's gonna be an all-star one day, maybe this year. Giving him the max contract, I think he deserved it. He improved since joining the NBA. He improved every year. If you look at his statistical category, and Bogdanovic, Yeah, they traded away. They decided to go build a team with Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield on the on the hands, he wanted to lead the team. Remember, he was posting a tweet about not liking the team, wanted to go somewhere else and play like Bahamas and stuff like that. And I don't know how their chemistry is gonna work out. And the Rook Walton's still in charge of the team. That's one thing I'm surprised still. I mean, I thought he will be fired last year, but because it was first year with the Sacramento Kings, give him a chance. Give him a chance to develop with the young guys. But their record wasn't too bad. They just were. They were still in the bubble. They were trying to contain and making the playoff. But I think as far as they go, they're not gonna make playoff this year. But they'll be the last team to compete for playoff, and I'll put them in like 8th or 9th place. San Antonio picking up Devin Vassell, 3-and-D guy, very good, and picked up point guard Trey Jones. They haven't really made any move this offseason. DeMar DeRozan and DeMarcus Aldridge will not be traded. There were a lot of rumor about DeRozan coming to Lakers in exchange of Kuzma and the plus alpha. But of course, Spurs declined that offer. So DeRozan still have way better trade value than Kuzma ever will be. They will not go into a rebuild mode. It's a little concerned. The Spurs are a little reluctant to go into that route. They were known as a team that's taking things really slow. So my concern is they're not gonna make playoff this year. What are they trying to achieve out of this? Giving the young players more playing chance, develop them. What's going to happen to the veteran players, right? They want to win right now. And they're not in a situation to win. I think DeMar DeRozan or LaMarcus Aldridge is definitely going to be gone next year. They will request a trade if teams are going to play like this again. Pelicans. So they locked up Brandon Ingram, 5 years, $125 million. The future looks bright. Zion Williamson. They picked up Eric Brasso for Drew Holiday, Steven Adams also in there. So they added a couple of good players. It's really up to Zion Williamson's health. I think that's how far they're gonna go. If he's staying healthy this full season, they definitely can make a noise and try to make that last spot in the playoff. Last year they came up a little bit short. Their record doesn't really tell you how good they were playing. Before the bubble, they were about to make it to the last 8 spot. They were like 2 or 3 games behind Memphis. The Memphis didn't make it, of course. Portland was way too hot. But I think you'll see how they were going to play with the addition of new players, the chemistry. Lonzo Ball's definitely going to be better this year. He improved his 3-point percentage and his mid-range a little bit. It's up to him to make other players better. He's a floor general, and we look forward to that. Orlando Magic. They stayed very quiet this offseason. Aaron Gordon is still not traded. Evan Fournier or even Nikola Vucevic. Cole Anthony is definitely a surprising draft pick. It's a 15th pick for the team. So, and the Markelle Fultz, how they're going to coexist with the Cole Anthony Fultz, That'll be interesting to watch. Surprising team, Atlanta Hawks. They want to make a playoff. They will make a playoff, in my opinion. They're gonna make last 8 spot or 7th even. They added Danilo Gallinari and Rajon Rondo from the Lakers. And Bogdanovic trade deal went off last night. So they get that 4 years, 72 million. Then they drafted the Onyeka Okongwu. He's a guy who's very solid big man. He could be a type of player like they have Capella, right? So he could be a backup of Capella and then develop as, one of the promising big men. They signed Chris Dunn from Bulls. He's a great defender. So Trae Young definitely has more help. So yeah, Hawks are a playoff contending team this year. Rockets, it's hard to evaluate at this stage. Really depends on James Harden and Russell Westbrook. They did sign Christian Wood, very good talent. He had that breakout season. So my concern is how Harden and Westbrook keep the chemistry like last year. Harden requested trade to the Brooklyn Nets, and I know the Westbrook want to be out of the Houston as well. So I don't know how they're gonna come to the training camp and pretend that nothing happened. They're definitely gonna slide down. They will make a playoff, but I would say they're gonna make barely, we'll say, last place or even 7th place. The Memphis Grizzlies, they picked up great talent from the draft, first round, Desmond Bain and Xavier Tillman. At the beginning of second round, they're continuing to build around Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., so one of the promising talent in the league. They'll fight for the last playoff spot. Yeah. Phoenix Suns brought in Chris Paul, then Jalen Smith at number 10. They're definitely going to be a playoff contention this season. They still have Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, Cam Johnson, they got Mikal Bridges. They had that 8-0 bubble performance. I don't know if that's just a temporal thing, but we'll see. I'll pick Phoenix Suns go in the 6th place in the West. And Pacers, they looked like they were getting Golden Hayward, and they're just back to normal. Oladipo can go back. If Oladipo go back to his pre-injury state, and TJ Warren continue to get better like he did in the bubble, they definitely have a chance to be in the playoff team. They still have Miles Turner. They haven't traded away many assets, but they haven't drafted any promising young men. So their record is probably going to stay the same, or either going down. Portland Trailblazers trying to get the Robert Covington from Houston Rockets. They signed Derrick Jones and then re-signed with Ronnie Hood. And then Carmelo Anthony decided to stay one more year with the team. And he was thankful that they gave him an opportunity. So they'll build pieces around Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Yusuf Nurkic. They're definitely a playoff contender, and they'll make some noise during the playoff. what a off season it's been. They've seen great things and then just seen the bad things happen. We're going from having the worst record to being title contender. Golden State is, I'll say, they're making playoff without Klay Thompson. Still surrounded with Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins. Then they added the talent of Kelly Oubre Jr. and they picked up the second over pick, James Wiseman. They have great upside. They want to compete. They're not gonna go win the title. It's not like they're gonna be a top 3 team in the West, but I'll say they'll be between 5th to 7th in the Western Conference standing. Dallas Mavericks, they traded away Seth Curry for Josh Richardson to upgrade their defense, signing Wes Iwundu to back up to Luka Doncic. The Kristaps Porzingis is expected to miss the beginning of season due to his injury. So they're going to have a slow start, but as long as they have Doncic, yeah, they're going to be in an okay position. Mavericks will be a dangerous opponent, as they showed in the bubble playoff against the Clippers. Without the Porzingis injury, I think Mavericks would have beat the Clippers. Utah Jazz signed the extension with Jordan Clarkson, then brought back Derek Favors, give them more versatility and more size inside. Donovan Mitchell cashed in with max contract, 5 years, with 135, and he could earn up to 195 if he made NBA all team and all NBA team next season. It's got Rudy Gobert inside. I think Favors return make it a little more balanced than last year. Derek Favors always loved to play for the Jazz. He was pretty good player playing for the Jazz. Was average, was double almost all-star numbers. Philadelphia, Daryl Morey, he's wasting no time. He shed the Al Horford's contract exchange for Danny Green, and then he swapped to Josh Richardson and traded Seth Curry to improve their shooting. He brought in Dwight Howard, and it's sad to see that for the Lakers fans, and the backup to Joel Embiid. They're not gonna win the title. I would say it really depends how Simmons improve as a player. Is he able to develop his jumper? No, I think that's the biggest concern. Every Philadelphia Sixers fans are concerned about how Ben Simmons' skills gonna go. As far as his developments, haven't really shown that much improvements for the last 2 years. New Jersey, no surprise there. They were picked as an 8th best team. It's hard to project their record. Depends on the health issue of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They both are injury-prone players. So a little concerned, the Nets fans are a little concerned. If either of them gets injured, there's a chance of even making playoff is slim. They have a great chance of making a noise in the regular season and the playoff. They're one of the dark horses. They somehow end up picking James Harden and trading away Kyrie Irving. I'll say they'll have to give away Kyrie Irving to get to James Harden. There's no way they can keep all 3 together with the payroll they have. Joe Harris signing was great. He's definitely worth of keeping for a long term. To build around that championship team. So you need the shooter that can space the floor, can knock down shots when needed. Joe Harris is the guy who can do that, like a Robert Horry type. Denver, losing Jeremy Grant is pretty big. Losing that inside, some guy who can defend the 3 and 4. Jamalco Green pickup is a good replacement. Jamalco Green is a guy is space the floor, is knocked down his shot. Then they lost Mason Plumlee inside, so give more chance to Bol, let's say. And then Jokic and Jamal Murray is always a special player, so they're definitely going to be in the playoff hunt. I mean, the playoff contending team. They probably will be the same team as last year. They didn't lose too much of asset, but they didn't get that much asset in return. But we'll see how the development of Michael Porter Jr. Continued this year. I think he's going to be a guy who could put up a 20 and 10 numbers easily, and he's shown that promising in the bubble playoff. So it's really up to the Michael Porter Jr.'s development. That's how that team goes. Toronto Raptors resigning for Ben Fleet, biggest priority, and then losing Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka really hurts. They lost that inside presence, inside a defender who could pretty much defend the guard coming to the paint or the big man. Aaron Baines signing will make up a little bit of that loss, but they haven't added that much of players this offseason, so the records are probably going down, probably around 50 wins and 45, 50. Say they'll be a top 5, 4 and 5 team in the East. Los Angeles Clippers losing Montrezl Harrell to the Lakers is a big blow, but they signed Serge Ibaka to make up that gap. It might be actually a better fit because Ibaka he can space floor, he can defend inside, he can knock down the shot, he can knock down the 3. You'll be surprised how much he can do. He's gonna impact that positive energy to the team. Harrell had a bit of a locker room issue with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Was questioning about their decision making, the leadership. So they definitely had a little bit of the problem inside the locker. The Kawhi and Paul George are healthy. This is definitely top 2 team in the West. I would say 2 and 3. I think I will put Denver over Clippers because it's a chemistry issue. I don't know if they can resolve that. And they hired Tyrell as the new head coach, which is great. He knows how to stop LeBron, but we'll see about that. Celtics losing Golden Hayward will not be too much minus to teams. They still have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum cashed up a big contract recently. The Tristan Thompson addition is definitely a plus, and drafting Aaron Nesmith, one of the best shooters in the draft, that was a great addition. Boston, great mix at top of the Eastern Conference, since they have a lot of talent and experience in the playoff. Miami is picked as number 3. No surprise there, because they made the Eastern Conference Final and the NBA Final, losing to Lakers 4-2. They lost Jay Crowder and Derek Jones, but replaced with veteran Mark Harkless and Avery Bradley. And they were able to sign Goran Dragic and try to bring back the veteran presence. And Bam Adebayo getting that big contract. Tyler Hero is a coming off year for him. He's gonna have a better year than his rookie year. And Jimmy Butler of course, will be consistent. So their records, like, it got better than last year. They were 44-29. I would say 50 wins this year, because it was a COVID-19 shortened season, as went into hiatus. Their record doesn't tell you how good they were. I think if they had that regular 82 game season, they would have had 15 wins for sure. Milwaukee Bucks, no surprisingly, picked as number 2. They had the best record in the NBA last season, and they were surprisingly got dethroned, not dethroned, I mean they got embarrassed by Miami Heat in the semi-final. They didn't even make to the Eastern Final. So it was very disappointing for the Bucks fans. They had a lot of high expectation going into the season. They picked up Drew Holiday and then added veteran player like DJ Augustine, Torrey Craig, Bobby Portis, and Bryn Forbes from the Spurs. The biggest concern is Giannis' health. And they're favored to win the number 1 seed in the East. It's not about the regular season for them, it's about how they perform in the playoff. If the Giannis continue to not develop a mid-range jumper, continue to just stay inside the paint, and their play is going to get tight, it's going to look the same way. So I think it really depends on Giannis' developments as a shooter. And the last and least, Los Angeles Lakers, no surprise there. The Lakers put together a great offseason, acquiring Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell to boost their bench scoring, while adding Wesley Matthews to replace Danny Green and signing Marc Gasol. Looks like the champ is ready to repeat. The LeBron James, Anthony Davis can get a little bit of rest during the regular season. LeBron, of course, will take the road management because he's getting old. He's almost 37. I think he'll be able to do it with the addition of Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell and coming off the bench, and Anthony Davis. He can rely on Anthony Davis to be more dominant during the season, and then he can be the same guy in the playoff and save up more energy to compete in the playoff. They are one team that didn't lose much of an asset and brought in more. So they're going to be more dangerous this year. I say the record will go between 57 wins to 60 wins. I think they're going to be number 1 team in the entire NBA. Even better than Milwaukee and Clippers. That's all my take on the newly updated season power rankings. I hope you enjoy listening to it. Please leave in comments if you have any concern, any questions. We'll get back to you. All right, peace.